Well, hello, 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 and I think I have the day right. I jumped the gun yesterday and told everyone TGIF. I didn't realize I said it. I meant to say TGIT. I think that's a little, kind of clever. But it is Friday. It is Friday. That storm is coming through, getting a lot of you. I see it's in Diva's path. Two Boston moms said it's yucky where she lives. It's yucky here. Please tell me it is TGIF. If I screwed that up again, I'm just going to shut down the show right now. It is Friday. Okay, I just checked. Thank you. Thank you. Who did I miss in the pre-party? Snow. Hey, Snow. Jean. Jean, the dancing machine. Tracy. Hey, Wiz. Baby Kisses. Baby Kisses said, can you guys hear? Can you all hear me? Doozy got some weather like me. Vicky B. Ooh, we're rhyming today. We are rhyming today. Avee got Avee backstage too. Clipped Wings made it. Christine made it. Hopefully I caught everybody. I chatted with most of you before the show started. Okay, NC said I can hear you. Baby Kisses said I went in and out. Okay, so we're all fixed. Suds, can you hear okay? Suds? Got to make sure Suds can hear. For this show, we want to make sure the volume is correct because we have 3 suspects in the disappearance of Michael Vaughn that are out and about. And it goes without saying, they have a very heavy interest in this case. They're waiting on that on the door. I don't think it's going to be that nice. I think it's going to be more like kicked down the door and the police tell them to lay on the ground. I think it's going to be more like that. Let's take a second and tell everyone hola, because it's showtime.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. I know there's a lot of chatter and a lot of things going on. Had the horrible shooting yesterday in Perry, Iowa. A lot of people talking about the Savannah Soto case. We know there's a lot of interest all over, and there's plenty of internet for that. Plenty of internet. But the fact that you were here yesterday for Harmie Montgomery, not giving up on her, that was a very hard show yesterday. And that you're still hanging on for Michael. Because Sarah, who's in the pokey, not sure if she has access to the internet, but if she does, Sarah, Brandon, Adrian, Stacey. I'm going to go ahead and throw Carson and Caesar in there too. Even though they're not named suspects, I think they know a lot about what happened. I think they know a lot. And it just comes down to this. Michael deserves to be home. Michael deserves justice. His family deserves him home. They deserve answers and they deserve justice. Now, the show is mainly going to be geared around Stacey today. Because I don't know if old Stacey got the memo, but everybody has turned on him. His darling wife. Oh, yeah. Right there she is. You remember their wedding video. Probably going to look at that again. His wife has turned on him, for sure. Adrian has turned on him. Brandon has turned on him. Carson doesn't have anything good to say about him. He's trying to separate himself from Stacey, as much as he can. Stacey, your parents have turned on you. Don't think they haven't talked to the FBI. Sarah's parents have turned on you. Now, the thing about all this is, Stacey, is on July 27th, the day of Michael's abduction, you are reportedly not with the three amigos. According to Brandon, you were not with them. So, do you want to make a deal or not? There's a big difference between a proffer agreement and life without parole, but hey, that's up to you. You're not really buying any time because I have a feeling there is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. A lot. All right, let's welcome, big round of applause, our amazing, awesome, great friend and co-host today, Avee. Good morning, Avee. And look what I saw in chat. Today is Tammy's birthday. So before we get to it, let's tell our friend Tammy happy birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. And if you're not a member, please consider being a member. I saw a couple of memberships have run out because we have our January birthday bash coming up and you don't want to miss it. So, Avee, what's the 411? What's the haps? What's going on?
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Good morning, Brooks.
Good morning, hon. You have been doing a lot, and I mean a lot, of work on the case of Michael Vaughn. Do you think about anything else? It's okay.
Yes, I think about, the Summer Wells case, the Harmony Montgomery case, but yeah, I'm really honed in on Michael Vaughn's case. So I am bound and determined to get answers, and I won't stop. We won't stop.
We won't stop. We gave our word the very first show we did for Michael. Can everybody hear Avee okay? I think Christina might be having an issue. Hey, that girl James is back. Where you been, you old stranger?
Thunderskew says she can't hear me that well.
Do you want to get out and get back in?
Yeah, I think it might be easier if you can drop the link for me in YouTube. It might be better.
Oh, in the chat? Sure.
Yeah. Okay. I'll grab it there.
I'll do it right now.
Okay, thanks. I'll be right there.
Okay. All right, let's start on the comments while she gets herself adjusted. Because you guys had a lot to say after the last show. All right, our friend Miss Melody said, wonderful show as always. Thank you, Miss Melody. She said, Brooks, I was thinking, rather than pushing for these monsters to go to the police, maybe we should be pushing a little more for them at least to make an anonymous call. Yes, I don't mention that enough. You can call anonymously. Y'all have access to phones and internet. I know one of you is very active on TikTok. 2 of you have new Facebooks. So there is no reason why you can't use that handy dandy device in your hand to call anonymously. Let's see if Avee got fixed. How's it going?
Is it better? Can everyone hear me now?
Oh, that sounds a lot clearer on my end.
Okay, good. I don't know. It's weird whenever I enter through the other way. So
That's okay. We're live, so we can always get it fixed and move on. All right. User said, Brooks, could you include in your next live where Huff says Michael was seen by neighbors during the short timeline he was missing? It might help to alleviate the doubters' minds. See, we are in a world, and a lot of it is because of the internet and 24-hour news cycles where they don't believe it until they see it. I can't tell you how many cases that we cover on here, and people go, where's the body cam? They're saving it for trial. Sometimes they release it early, sometimes it's not to the end. Well, what about the 911 call? Sometimes they release it early, sometimes it's at trial. This was a constant argument in the Gannon Stout case for people that believe Letitia was innocent. Another one. Well, where's the CCTV from that day? Well, as you remember, in the trial, we saw it. We saw it. It will all come to a head, I promise. I promise. But just because it's not right in front of you right now doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And yes, several neighbors saw Michael on that horrible, scary day that he was abducted. Because the neighbors aren't in chat, because the neighbors don't come on YouTube panels, because the neighbors aren't on Facebook, means one thing about the neighbors. Well, several things. One, they're smart. They're smart. Two, they're probably going to be called to testify, so they're saving the integrity of the case. But yes, he was seen outside. Anything you want to add to that, Avee? You're muted.
yeah. No, I mean, you're spot on with that. We don't have access to everything, and that's, we think it's not good, but it's really good for the case. But just because it's not out there doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Exactly. I agree with you completely.
And I think about one of Brandy's first interviews where she said, this is a small town, safe neighborhood, as they thought. Huff said, he's very familiar with Fruitland. This is not something that any of them imagined happening. This happened in daylight on really a busy day. I mean, people were outside doing things. I still want to know how they lured him over. Again, that will come out. Pam Davidson, what's up, girlfriend, longtime member, said about the comment saying Fruitland PD was in over their heads and had to call in the FBI. This police department did right by the case, family, and most importantly, Michael. By comparison, a department who actually was in too deep and should have called for help before even arriving on scene was the Ramsey case. Very good comparison. Boulder PD screwed that up. I sincerely hope and I believe much was learned from that case, and being a small department who doesn't have training, staff, resources for larger, complicated cases. The prosecutor himself said, this case has a lot of complexities. Who could blame Huff for calling in bigger, more equipped agencies to help find Michael Vaughn? It's the old saying, damned if you do, damned if you don't. That's how it goes. Does anybody think that it was irresponsible or shugging the work off on somebody for Fruitland PD to get a hold of the FBI and say, we need your help? Everything we're seeing is an abduction. In all honesty, I don't think they should have any choice. Anything you want to add to that, Avee?
No, I mean, you're spot on. I mean, I love our comment section, by the way.
Oh, I do too. Yeah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Let's say they decided they could handle it on their own, and we're sitting here almost 2.5 years later. Hopefully, something breaks before 2.5 years. Because I certainly don't want to guesstimate that he's still going to be missing at the end of this month. But say we're sitting here and they had never asked for outside agencies. Well, people would be screaming and yelling. But there's always going to be the naysayers. Because you know, what did Babe Ruth say? The people with the cheapest seats boo the loudest. Friggin' losers. Speaking of a loser, Seahorses said, not to be confused with Sea Star, Seahorses said, OMG. I'm trying to imagine what Seahorse's voice sounds like. When are you going to stop with the fat shaming? Look, Seahorses, let me tell you, Seahor, it is not fat shaming. We are shaming suspects in an abduction. In an abduction. This would be fat shaming. You ready for this, Seahorses? This would be fat shaming.
First things first, where's your shitter? I've got a turtle head poking in. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Oh.
Really? You can't get past the fact that Sarah and Stacey are a little bigger people. And when Sarah, who, by the way, Stacey, you're going to like this part. Sarah blamed Adrian. Sarah mainly blamed you, Stacey, but not Brandon. Oh, no. She wasn't going to blame Brandon. I still think she has a little bit of a crush on him. Now, it goes without saying, Stacey has a bad back, confirmed. Bad knees, confirmed. Very swollen ankles because we've seen pictures. So how am I supposed to believe he could do such physical labor? How? So, it's not fat shaming. We're asking real questions here. Do you have any questions for Seahor, Avee?
I just don't understand how they can only focus, or Seahorse, Whore, whoever, can only focus on that whenever we have a missing child and this sweet baby needs to be brought home. So that should really be the least of Seahorse's worries, in my opinion.
Yeah. Would this make Seahor feel better? Fundaski said, pleasing plump, pleasantly plump. How about more cushion for the pushing? What would make you feel better, Seahor? What would make you feel better? What would make you feel better for how I describe these indigent imbeciles that are suspects, now Caesar's not, in the abduction of Michael Vaughn? Thank you, Seacare. Seacare said, Michael is missing and you're focused on fat? It seems to me you're the one that's fat shaming. Why aren't you worried about Michael? You're worried about Stacey and Sarah's feelings? How about Brandon? I heard he's put on a little bit of weight. Probably been doing a lot of carb eating. Got a lot of stress going on. It's not really burning it off. I understand, could be rumor only, that Stacey's very self-conscious about his weight. A few people have made contact with him, And he doesn't seem to be too triggered about the Michael Vaughn being abducted line of questioning, but anything that he thinks pertains to his Hollywood good looks, he becomes very offended. I didn't realize he was so sensitive. Maybe Stacey needs some of this. I think it was Extra AF that says she needs a whole case of Bitch Be Gone. Kills 99.9% of twats and bitches. Eliminates hoes. Do you need some of that, Stacey? You're a sensitive little guy, aren't you? You're a sensitive little guy. Don't call me fat. Don't you talk about my cottage cheese thighs. Nuh-uh. You can accuse me of abducting Michael Vaughn. That's water off a duck's back. But don't be talking about my spare tire. All right, Stacey, here is a friendly reminder for you. You're going to be really interested in this. And by the way, Stacey, we are going to be nice. We are going to be respectful. You, my good friend, and I will mute myself. Avee will mute herself. And you are more than welcome to come up. More than welcome.
We'd love to have you.
Oh my God, with open arms, because I think out of everybody, Stacey, you would be the one that could actually get a deal. So let's do this, Stacey. Come on down. Woo! Come on down, Stacey. There might even be a prize.
Who else is having Price is Right energy right now? Let's go.
Let's do it. Matter of fact, we can play trivia. I have a feeling Stacey will know all the answers and there's a prize at the end. I will ask him questions. I'm not even going to make a multiple choice about the disappearance of Michael Vaughn. And if he wins, he gets a prize. Let's do it. Come on down. Two Boston moms, love you too. Snow said, I will barf out loud if that man shows his face. Stacey, please do not take that personal. Snow has a huge crush on Chief Huff, okay? Don't take it personal. You're more than welcome. Matter of fact, Stacey, you are a single hombre. You're a single hombre, because I don't know if you've noticed, but Sarah left you high and dry. She said you emmed Michael, or she said that boy, and you buried him by the shed. Then she said Adrian did it, but it must hurt that she won't turn on Brandon. Uh-uh. No. All right, let's get to a friendly reminder, Stacey.
You know, from the time Michael went missing, this has been an all-hands-on-deck investigation, and it remains very active and an ongoing investigation. You can't take one of our most precious citizens from us and ever expect us to stop. During the course of this investigation to date, we received credible information that the remains of Michael Vaughn could be found in the backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland. As a result, the Fruitland Police Department obtained a search warrant for the residence along with the front and backyards. That search warrant was served on November 11th. It was a Friday. We served that late in the evening. Upon entry.
Yes, they did. Let's talk about that. They did. Hold on, I got to find my place. They did serve a warrant. Sarah was at home, laying on the couch, looking like a damn beached whale. They forced entry into your old home, Stacey. 9:30 p.m. on that Friday. They found her in the living room. She was detained and read a copy of the search warrant. When the officer got to the portion that read murder, she said, "Did you just say murder?" And she said it multiple times. She also said, "I have never murdered anybody." She maintained, Stacey, that she definitely did not kill that boy. And then, now I understand you're a godly man as well, Stacey. She said the Most High God already told her who did it. She said, "Oh, wow. The Most High God just told me that Stacey was the one who killed him and buried him in the yard of the neighbor's house." Now, we know that Michael was never in the yard of the neighbor's house. Then she said Stacey buried him in the backyard by the shed. Then she backed off of that. She said her husband buried Michael in the backyard by the shed, but Stacey, she said, you weren't the one that actually harmed Michael. She said instead that a man identified only as Adrian had been the one that done it, and he was too scared to tell anybody. Well, let's talk a little bit about that before we get back to our friendly reminder. This, I got to take the banner down so you can see better. This is one of Adrian's accounts. I'm not 100% sure who he's talking to. I have a feeling it's Stacey because we've seen their exchanges before. Could be, maybe not. He says, "Funky, you now gonna have hella lawyer fees. Did y'all really kill that baby boy, or did y'all just like relocate him somewhere else? Y'all so fucked for harming kids. WTF." This person in blue replies, "How the boy die? Answer that." Looks kind of like Stacey's lingo to me. Not the best at grammar. Then another reply, "I don't know why you even think I had anything to do with taking him." Adrian replies, "Let's not forget about Brandon." But Sarah, your buoy bear, blamed everybody except for Brandon. Michelle is so right. Stacey, Tik Tok, the first to talk is the first to walk. Anything you want to say about this charming exchange between Adrian and, I'm assuming, Stacey?
I just think it's really interesting how he's admitting that, in my opinion, that Michael was there. He wants to know, did y'all kill him or relocate him? He's admitting that they whoever he's talking to, they definitely abducted Michael.
Mhm.
So where is Michael?
Because Adrian, I don't think, was suspecting this would get out. And he's asking a question. Did y'all really kill that baby boy, or did you all just like relocate him?
So we know, according to that, we're assuming the baby boy that he's referring to is Michael. So where is he, Stacey? Where's Michael?
Stacey, you weren't with the three amigos the day that Michael was abducted. I'm wondering if Adrian had already been dropped off and this was just between Sarah and Brandon. Won't know for a while. Do you think maybe Adrian, once he realized Michael was there and he was the missing boy that the neighborhood was talking about, he got the hell out of Dodge? I could see Adrian doing that because he didn't want to be involved. Stacey, again, Sarah has turned on you. Brandon, he has brought up the gun that you were not supposed to be in possession of, your weight. He's called you a messy little pig, a liar. He said he tried to teach you to act the right way. And there is Adrian's response. Let's not forget about Brandon. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about Brandon. No way, no how.
Officers encountered Sarah Wandra, one of the known occupants of the home, and Sarah was subsequently arrested based on probable cause that she had knowledge of Michael's death and failed to report that death to law enforcement. The following day, the Fruitland Police Department, joined by the Idaho State Police, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, the Fruitland Fire Department, and the Fruitland Public Works Department, began a very methodical excavation of the backyard of the Wandras' home. During that excavation process, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue, Mountain States detection dogs deployed multiple certified human remains detection dogs on the property, all of them alerting to the presence of human remains. Ground penetrating radar was also used and deployed, detecting anomalies in the backyard. We completed the excavation of the entire backyard and removed over 250 yards of dirt. Prior to backfilling the yard, the dirt was meticulously sifted for any potential human remains. We did not find Michael's remains. Although the remains of Michael Vaughn were not recovered, we strongly believe, based on evidence, that Michael was abducted and is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from the property. As of today, the whereabouts of his remains are unknown. However, the investigation is active, fluid, and ongoing. Once the excavation was complete, we conducted a thorough search of the Wandras' residence. The search was productive, and additional investigative evidence was recovered and is currently being processed.
Not a good look. Not a good look for any of you involved. Butterfly kisses. Love your face, girl. Love it. Said Stacey, you really need to talk before you get run over by that bus that has a teardrop under it. Think about it. You're footloose and fancy free. How long is that going to go on without your cooperation? What do you want to bet Adrian's cooperating? We know Brandon's not. Brandon shit his britches when the FBI came to see him in Montana.
And I just would like to add, because this is, this pisses me off. You know what happens when I get pissed off. But Stacey, you don't deserve your freedom. You don't deserve that. You don't get the right to move on with your life. You don't get that right. Michael's family cannot move on with theirs, and you don't have the right to move on with yours. And we will keep calling your ass out. I know you don't like this. This is making you very uncomfortable. We're not going to stop. You do not deserve your freedom. You do not get the opportunity to move on with your life. Tell us where Michael is.
Or call this number at the bottom of the screen. Call Crime Stoppers. You can remain anonymous. You can remain anonymous. His mother is in immense pain. So is his father. So is his grandparents, aunts, uncles, his siblings. And you are somewhere involved in this circle. You were one of the first people named. We didn't find out about Brandon and Adrian for weeks later. Listen to Brandy in her own words. This was at 138 days missing.
How many times can the human heart break? I don't even know how many times mine does in a day.
A mother still waiting for her boy to return. His name is Michael Vaughn. Michael is just 5 years old. He disappeared without a trace last summer on July 27th. CBS 2's Michaela Ellich spoke one-on-one with an anguished mother who refuses to give up hope.
138. Today makes 138 days since the last time I got to hug him or kiss him.
138 days since Michael Vaughn was last seen here in the quiet town of Fruitland.
I never thought in a million years that, this would happen here. We live in a small town. We live in a small area. Everybody pretty much knows each other or kind of knows each other or sees each other on a frequent basis. But I never imagined that one of my babies would be not here.
It's a day she can never forget.
I don't understand why that day was so different.
That day changed their life, ruined their life. They want their son. We're all mad here. What are you talking about? You said the woman on panel is going to open herself up to liable. This is her opinion. And according to Chief Huff at the press conference and many, many other statements, one most recently by the prosecutor, Stacey Wandra is very much a suspect in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. I'm not going to pretend like he lived at that house all that time and didn't notice that Michael was there with Brandon, Stacey, Adrian, Caesar, and who knows who else. So no, I mean, if Stacey wants to sue, go ahead. Matter of fact, that would be the best thing. Let me explain why. Because if he sues Avee for liable, it would be civil, then that would open him up to questioning that he would have to answer. So yeah, let's do it. Sue Avee. I like it.
One minute he's here and people see him, and the next he's gone.
Michael's monster trucks and Spider-Man doll are still in their living room, a constant reminder.
He has probably every grave digger monster truck there is.
And still has his toys, clothing, and much, much more. Matter of fact, Christmas Day, they opened up their gifts, and guess what was left under the tree? Michael's gifts. We're all mad here. I'm not being rude to you. I'm just saying I care more about Michael and his family's feelings than Stacey. He is a named suspect. This isn't me saying, oh, I think he could be involved in it. He is a suspect. He is named in the probable cause affidavit. He is being discussed with the grand jury.
I see a comment that says Stacey has his taxi company going again in Boise, transporting what, Stacey? People should fear for their lives getting in your taxi.
Well, we don't know that for sure, and I was asked not to discuss that.
But
Okay.
he got this on his birthday on June 24th, and he was so excited.
Fruitland police have been tirelessly searching for Michael throughout homes and yards, fields and waterways. And around town, posters of Michael can be seen on just about every street.
There are so many people caring and trying to help and helping, and I really couldn't imagine trying to do this on my own, or any of us in our family to do this on our own. I don't think I will ever be able to say thank you enough.
As the days pass and Brandy waits, she tells me she will never stop looking, never stop hoping.
I just pray to God he can see something or know that we're not giving up hope and we're gonna find him. I just hope he sees something.
As the investigation continues, CBS 2 will keep Michael Vaughn's name in the spotlight. And anyone with information about this case should call Fruitland Police. Or if you see Michael, call 911.
And besides Brandy's voice, her face, and her tears, what is so heartbreaking is they have had the tip line open and an email address for I can't even tell you how long. I do not believe that at the time of this interview, it was 138 days. I cannot believe in that 138 days, Sarah, Stacey, Adrian, and Brandon weren't around anybody else except for the four of them. If Carson had made a call on the 28th and said, something weird is going on next door, they have plenty of cars, they have a taxi business, and for some reason, they came to borrow my truck to look for Michael Vaughn. And after reading in the paper, it seemed that they went to look for him before it made the headlines he was missing. It's safe to say we wouldn't be here today. Safe to say we would not be here today. Any thoughts on that, Avee? Avee's muted.
I thought I exited out. I'm so sorry. I'm still here, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're here.
Okay. Yes, I totally agree with you. Yes, we need to figure out what happened that day. I think there were definitely more people around. I definitely think also that Carson knows more, but we can address that at another time because it's all about you today, Stacey.
You bet. You bet, Bowie Bear. You are in the spotlight. We're all mad here, said, was Carson's a 4x4? I don't know if it was four-wheel drive, but it's a truck with a light bar. And don't forget, Carson is an RSO. It seems to me that they wanted to make sure his truck with identifiers like the light bar and the tag number was out and about, being an RSO with Michael missing. Of course, that is just my opinion. So, Stacey, it makes me wonder what happened to the girl you married. I mean, you guys were in love, right, Avee? This is like a rom-com.
It's amazing. Look at it. We're in for a real treat.
This is like watching that movie with Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
It's exactly like that, except completely different. But yes, exactly.
This is a magical moment, Stacey. Did you even think that down the line, Sarah would tell the police when they forced entry into your old home? Because remember, you were locked up. You were locked up. Wow. That must be quite the bitch to birth, because You're locked up. She's still banging Brandon. She's defending Brandon and saying you are the one responsible for Michael. Wow, what happened to this magical couple?
All right. We have rings or nothing. Okay. All right, we are gathered here today to join this man and this woman in matrimony. Now I charge you both to remember that love.
Hang on. Stacey, did you really not bring a ring for this fine piece of woman?
Uh-oh.
What? Well, maybe that's what did it.
And loyalty and a constant effort to make each other happy are the foundation of a happy home and a successful marriage. If the vows you're about to make are kept, your home will be full of joy and abiding peace. Sir, will you, Stacey Wandra, have this woman to be your wedded wife? Will you love her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, and keep yourself only unto her as long as you both shall live? I do. All right. Sarah, will you, Sarah Ramsey, have this man to be your wedded husband? Will you love him, honor and keep him in sickness and in health, forsaking all others, and keep yourself only unto him as long as you both shall live?
Okay.
All right. Stacey, will you take her right hand?
This is my ring.
Oh, got it. And repeat after me. Is it Wandra? I, Stacey Wandra.
I, Stacey Wandra.
Take thee, Sarah Ramsey.
Take thee, Sarah Ramsey.
To be my wedded wife.
To be my wedded wife.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
And thereto I pledge you my faith.
And thereto I pledge you my faith.
Okay. Stacey, will you please repeat after me? I, Sarah Ramsey.
I, Sarah Ramsey.
Take thee, Stacey Wandra.
Take thee, Stacey Wandra.
To be my wedded husband.
To be my wedded husband.
To have and to hold.
To have and to hold.
From this day forward.
From this day forward.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse.
For richer or for poorer.
For richer or for poorer.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
And thereto I pledge you my faith.
And thereto I pledge you my faith.
Okay, for as much as you, Stacey Wandra, and you, Sarah Ramsey, have consented together to live in wedlock and to have the same before me and the authority vested in me as magistrate judge in Washington County, Idaho, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride.
She's moaning. What kind of a wrestling move is that? It's like two bears getting it on over a piece of salmon.
Match made in heaven right there, y'all.
Yeah. What was Gypsy Rose saying this week about her husband? You know, haters gonna hate. I get so tired of that phrase. Haters gonna hate. That went in, not my circus, not my monkeys. But anyway, because she said her husband's getting a lot of haters. They're jealous, and that D is on fire. Maybe that's what's going on here. That D is on fire. That D is on fire.
Looks like something's definitely going on. Feast your eyes on that. Chat.
So what happened to this bear hugging couple, Stacey? Because now Sarah, according to a probable cause affidavit, said you're the one that done it. Look at the bear hug again. If I'm going to get accused of fat shaming, I'm going to do it right.
The authority vested in me as magistrate judge in Washington County, Idaho, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may.
Listen to the moan and light up the chat. That D is on fire. Moan, grunt, heavy breathing. Oh, yeah.
I now have the pleasure of presenting Mr. and Mrs. Stacey and Sarah Vaughn. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, you want to make sure that recorded?
Oh, thank God you made sure the record button was on. Pat K, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you for the donation to the channel. Came just in time, too, because we need recording hours. You are amazing. So it's like they were dry humping at the courthouse right in front of us. I mean, no, no rings. It was like a pure dry hump right in front of everybody. And that friction just about made me barf. No offense, Stacey. I'm sure at the time she was lovely to you. And I can't get this vision out of my head. If it had red hair, when you think you make an awesome Hulk, but everyone thinks you're Shrek. He really wooed her. He really wooed her. I'm going to go ahead and get in front of the fat shaming comments that I know are coming.
First things first. Where's your shitter? I've got a turtle head poking in. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Oh.
No fat shaming here, but I'm going to child abduct shame all day. Now let's get to some of Booey Bear's famous hits. She was blowing up that TikTok, kind of like blowing up something else. Let's start with this one. Avee has really been going through the TikTok testimonies. Safe to say, she's a little cray-cray, but I do not believe that for a minute makes her not capable of a very serious crime, which, as we know, she's already been accused of not reporting the death of Michael Vaughn.
I just want to point out one thing. God made lava, okay? Lava. I'm sure hell is picnic. Yeah.
God made lava. Lava, okay? I'm sure hell is no picnic. Safe to say you're going to get your own taste of it. Because with forgiveness, Sarah thinks she can just say to herself, I'm sorry, Jesus. No, pure, true repentance is what we need, Sarah. You need to talk, or you're going to be in something worse than lava.
I just want to point out one thing. God made lava, okay? Lava. I'm sure hell is picnic. Yeah. He made lava, okay? I just want to...
Avee, anything you want to add to this about God making lava? Well, he made llamas too.
I think she's well on her way. It's not a picnic, she said. So looks like she's well on her way, in my opinion. That's all I have to say about that.
Better believe it. Stacey's not well on her way. She just left a super sticker. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. She said, I'm sure hell is no picnic. Let's listen to it again. Lava. Lava.
I just want to point out one thing. God made lava, okay? Lava. I'm sure hell is picnic. Yeah. He made lava, okay?
Never mind. She said, I'm sure hell is a picnic. Are you comparing it to lava? Lava. Lava. Why is she not worried about her own salvation since she's such a Bible thumper? Lava. Sud said liquid magma. Word of the day, lava. Everybody, what is the word of the day? What is the word? Find a way to use it in a sentence all day.
What's today's secret word?
Ooh, interesting question. Let's go and ask Cocky.
Lava. Learn something new every day. It never occurred to me, Avee, that God made lava. That means he made the volcanoes too, right?
I'm assuming so. But I mean, Sarah would be the one to ask because she knows everything about everything.
Particularly when it comes to God. Both her and Daisy must be reading a different version of the Bible because they don't seem to know shit about the Bible.
Jules just used it in a sentence. What did she win? Lava this channel.
Jules, I lava this channel. Thank you. Britt said Sarah wants Brandon to be her lava.
That one's really good.
Hang on. NC said Sarah is going to see lava face to face. Woo! Keep them coming. And Lily, to answer your question, I'm sorry. Just Me is hanging in there and getting better day by day. She should be getting her care package sometime today. So thanks goodness. Sarah is going to see lava face to face. Oh, Baby Kisses said Wanderers eat lava toast. Suds, if you want to be my lava, you got to get with my friends. Woo! Sing it with me, Avee.
This is so good. Suds, that's great. Good job, Suds.
If you want to be my lava, you got to get with. We got to have Kat sing it. We have Kat sing it. She's our resident Spice Girl. All right. Speaking of a Spice Girl, here we go. Now let's break this down, Avee.
To tell you, and it's really me and my husband's testimony on this trip that we've been on.
Is she talking about the trip to Texas to rescue the non-existent dog?
Yes, I believe so. I would love to know why they went to Texas. Stacey, you want to weigh in on that?
Let me put the link back up.
Why'd y'all go to Texas? We know it wasn't for a dog, by the way.
No, there was no dog, and the timeline makes no sense. So here's the testimony that the Hulk, Shrek, the Mucinex booger put out on behalf of both of you, Stacey. Retro Girl said, I got my mouth washed out with lava soap when I was a kid. I'm loving the lava comments. Lava. Let's get to the testimony.
So I have a crazy testimony to tell you, and it's really me and my husband's testimony on this trip that we've been on. So last, I think it was Saturday, we got called to go rescue a dog in Texas from a person that we've helped with dogs before.
I'm guessing there is no dog and there is no person that they help with dogs before.
She almost said friend at first, but she changed it to person. She was like, and then person.
Mm-hmm. She mumbles.
Friend turned into a person.
But that's really important. Say that again. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. She almost said friend. If you look at her lips, she's like and then a person. She changes it. So okay, so it was a friend, right, Stacey? Y'all were going to Texas for a friend, not just a person. Let's not disassociate. Y'all trying to rescue a dog.
Yeah, and they were in Snyder, Texas, is where she tagged herself. ID to Snyder, Texas. Let's see. That's 21 hours and 31 minutes to help a person. Went from a friend to a person. These people don't have 2 dimes to rub together. She also said they had enough money just to get to Texas. Well, how'd you get the money to get 21 hours back to Fruitland? How? To help a person with a dog? I don't think so. But let's get back to your testimony, Sarah.
Everything was going smoothly until we got to Texas. Then, almost as soon as we got to Texas, there was a detour on the freeway because there was a fatality. Then, so we had to take a detour. So then we got stuck in this rut in a mud pit. And we were stuck there for...
Okay. I'm sure many of us have had to take detours due to wrecks, water main breaks, things like that. When one person takes a detour, there is another line of traffic. So why in this picture of being stuck in the mud do I not see any cars in front of them? There was a detour because of fatality. So they had to go and take this beat up country road. They got stuck in the ruts, but there's no other cars around.
Yeah, and notice in her statement when she's talking about going to Texas, she said everything was going smoothly until they got to Texas, and then she said almost as soon as we got to Texas. So were y'all not in Texas yet, Stacey, before y'all had to take the detour on this road that you would never have to take a detour on? It's really interesting. Why this road?
Britt has a very excellent comment. They wanted to not be seen, so they found a different detour away from the cops. Everyone else is probably directed to pass slowly, not go on another route.
That's so good that you mentioned that, Britt, because, if you were someplace that you shouldn't be doing something that you shouldn't be doing, wouldn't, being surrounded by seeing all of those flashing lights, all of those, LE out there, wouldn't it just kind of freak you out a lot a bit? Especially if you were doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing, right, Stacey?
Peas in a Pod said detour because they weren't going near that roadblock with cops with Michael in the car, in my opinion. Thank you. Peas is also the captain of our coin pusher team. If you follow the Summerwells case, then you know. Court K is from that area, and she said, yeah, the detour wouldn't make them get stuck in the mud. They didn't want to go by the cops. So your testimony is already full of lies. Hang on. Court K is going to do some investigating for us. Hold on. I'm going to give you the date. I should know off the top of my head. The date is October 6th, 2021. Can you find out if there was a fatality accident in your area causing a detour? Please, Court K.
Court K, also, I tried to math it in my head, but I'm not really good at mathing. I think it was on October 3rd, possibly, because she said it was on, I got to go look at the calendar again, but she said it was on Friday and then she changed it to Saturday. And she said to Texas, and then she changed it to almost as soon as we got to Texas. So, not quite sure if they were in Texas yet, according to her words.
Woo, woo, woo. So let's go ahead and throw like the 2nd through the 7th out there. Because they would not detour you on that road. There would be other cars that were also detoured. So we caught you on that one, Sarah.
Almost as soon as we got to Texas, there was a detour on the freeway because there was a fatality. Then, so we had to take a detour. So then we got stuck in this rut in a mud pit. And we were stuck there for an hour and a half, maybe an hour and a half. And the reason why but we couldn't find anybody. The tow truck company wanted to charge us $300, which we didn't have extra at all because we don't have anything extra. We only have enough money to get down here, get the dog, come home. And and maybe stay at the hotel maybe twice. And so, and a cheap one at that, So then.
Oh, I guarantee it's a cheap one. So they go to Snyder, according to her. Not sure exactly where they got stuck in the mud, but she says on October 5th, 2021, she says on her Facebook, because their digital footprints are huge. Like I've said before, they're like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. I'm talking those type of footprints. Facebook is stalking my location to send me ads. Just saying. I don't live in Texas, but I am here near Snyder, and it just gave me an ad for Snyder, Texas. Court case said I already searched the Snyder Dog Rescue Group, but didn't find anything.
That's very interesting. Yep. Because there was no dog. We're not buying what you're selling. Okay,
Nope.
Stacey? Okay? There was no dog.
And Stacey, I'm going to be kind to you here. I really am. Because I believe, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's not a crime. Well, sometimes it is. Stacey, I believe that Sarah is the mastermind in all of this. Now, mind you, you've definitely got some riffraff on your record, but nothing like the abduction and possible of a little boy. I believe Sarah was the mastermind. I totally believe that. Totally. And all you have to do is grab the link and point us in the right direction. We don't bite.
We got stuck in this rut, and God sent a man to get us out of the rut. And the man didn't charge us anything. So then we're going along, we get the dog. We stay at a hotel, we rest up, and we're headed out of Texas. Everything seems smooth. We're going home.
Everything seems smooth. Everything seems smooth.
So they were in Texas.
Well, she posted on TikTok an Amber Alert in Houston. Now, I need to find that date and see if that child was found. I'm not saying that they abducted another child. I just think it's odd, considering the errand they were on, that she would post this abduction to her TikTok, this Amber Alert. Fun. I agree with you. Fun to Ski said, what if they were there selling Mr. Smith and Mr. Weston? I could see them driving 21 hours to sell a pew-pew, not pick up a dog, because she's in the hotel. Does anyone hear a dog? She has several TikToks during this time. Does anyone hear a dog? Who was watching the dog when supposedly Stacey was in the hospital because his little tum-tum couldn't take the elevation and had to be seen at the ER? Guns don't bark, but dogs do. She was a frequent poster. You're exactly right, Court K. She would have posted the dog. Angel P. No dog. No dog. Dogs bark, especially when they're with strangers and creepy ones at that.
Exactly.
It's great. I get tired, so I pull over to like kind of rest myself. And then when I pulled over to rest myself, we pulled into this gas station wrong, or so we thought, and we thought we messed up my engine because we hit something, and then all of a sudden, like it sounded like an engine problem. So then, after it sounded like an engine problem, then we thought, oh wow, So then we called a bunch of people, and we got the car to this place. We weren't sure how we were going to pay for it, but we got ourselves to the place. And then they told us that the reason why our car did that was not engine problems. It was the dirt from the rut that we were in. The pit, the mud pit. And it's like, and God's been getting us out of all these situations, and it's just so amazing to see him work, because he does not work like anybody else.
I just want to say, no, God isn't getting y'all out of anything. It was pure luck. And also, taking it back just a little bit, Brooks, if you don't mind, who is the man that got y'all out of the mud? Is the man in chat who pulled them out of the mud for free? I would love to know. And so that way we can figure out where exactly they were, and where is the place that they took their car to get it fixed. I would love to know.
Yeah, I want to know who helped them pull out of the mud. And no fat shaming here, but that would take some strength due to the extra cargo. I do not believe Stacey, with his health issues, knees, swollen ankles, extended belly, bad back, all the things that he has complained about. I do not believe that he pushed them out of the mud. Don't believe it. I don't. They didn't have $300 to get out of the mud. I'm with Retro Girl. Who off-roads like that on a multi-state trip anyway? Who the hell would take off 21 hours and not have some kind of roadside assistance? Who? Who?
They wouldn't have called a tow truck, in my opinion, because they have cameras and GPS, in my opinion. So I don't think they would have even called a tow truck. That's just my opinion. I don't think they wanted anybody to know where they were. That's just my opinion.
And I don't believe that detour took them down that road. Detour, they will shut off one line of traffic. We've run into many detours when I go out with DT Driver, and they'll close off one lane, because she said this happened on the interstate and they detoured everybody on this country road, but it's only them on the road. They would shut down one lane of traffic, slow everyone down. They were not gonna creep by the popo. No. It's all coming together, Sarah.
Season of God made a great comment.
She's got some really good comments. What did she say?
She said maybe they panicked at a general roadblock near where they had left Michael, thinking Ellie was looking for them already, bolted through a field and got stuck. Great comment. Great point.
That definitely could be peas. Definitely could be. All right, here's another testimony about the Texas trip that I have a feeling, Stacey, you might be a little sensitive about this trip. We know you're sensitive about your body image, but I have a feeling you might be a little sensitive about the trip to Texas.
God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay? I'm only down here to rescue a dog. And then I had a really severe attack from the enemy. And God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. Thank Him. And
Okay, I hear her disco Christian rock in the back. I don't hear a dog. I still don't hear a dog. Stacey, I cannot believe you didn't break that phone over her head. She documented your entire trip to Texas.
Isn't it interesting that she says that God got me through the craziest situation ever?
Getting stuck in the mud. It's lazy.
That's the
Sorry.
craziest situation ever? Getting stuck in the mud? Look at her face. Have y'all ever cried for long, extensive periods of time? Look at her eye. Look how swollen her eyelids are. Look at her face. She has been crying. It almost looks like she just got out of the. I don't know if her hair is wet or what. Does she have to clean up after getting stuck in the mud? What's going on here? She is upset, like really upset. And she says this is the craziest situation ever.
Sorry, getting stuck, flat tires, dead batteries, broken windshield wipers, you name it, is not the craziest situation ever. You're the one that took the muddy road. You're the one that did not want to creep with the rest of the traffic if this fatality accident even occurred. Court case going to be checking on that because you weren't about to risk the popo looking in your car. You weren't going to do it. And I'm sure some good old farmer did pull you out. Probably went and got his tractor and got you out. Because you're not going to call a tow truck. I don't care if you had $1,000 extra sitting there. You are going to do it. They have GPS. They have cameras. They have a lot of questions. You might have been driving without insurance. Who knows? That's the least of your concerns, though.
She also said it was a severe attack from the enemy. We're being quite dramatic about getting stuck in the mud, Sarah. I mean, a severe attack from the enemy.
She has said that before about other things. It can be the smallest, most minute thing, but the enemy is always the devil. Maybe she needs to look in the mirror. Who else would the enemy be in her feeble little mind? I have a feeling it's Saturn. Who do you think it is, Avee?
I still think it's her. I think I got the question. I think I got the answer wrong, but I think I got it right also.
This is paranoia, is what this is. And good old Sarah just had to tell Tik Tok about it.
okay. I'm only down here to rescue a dog. And then I had a really severe attack from the enemy. And God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. Thank Him. And I had to tell you guys about it because this time I'm just really dumbfounded, to be honest with you. God can get you out of anything. Anything.
Creepy ass, and she mumbles. Her and Jody Sue and somebody else I was talking about the other day. Oh, that chick that's always on Daisy's channel. They talk like they have a mouth full of marbles. I mean, I think I have to turn on subtitles sometimes. Nicely Done said that's how certain personality types use religion. We see it in another case. God saves them from getting caught or saves them consequences. They twist religion to comfort themselves while doing horrible things. I couldn't agree more. A lot of questions about the Amber Alert. This is what she posted on October 5th, 2021. Child abduction in Houston, Texas, blue 2008 GMC truck license 28809T1. Victim is 13-year-old Lilana Graham, who was last seen wearing white and yellow striped shirt, unknown pants, black shoes, and carrying a clear backpack. Suspect is black male, call 911 with information. Well, I think she put that up because that roadblock could have been looking for this Amber Alert.
Very true. That could be it too.
Because she posted that. Then on the 6th, we have the detour because of the fatality accident and got stuck in the mud. How come was anybody else stuck in the mud? There was no cars around them. A detour, especially when you're detoured off the interstate, would have many cars around you. When they do roadblocks, guess what they do? You don't really have any rights, especially when it's an Amber Alert. They're going to search the cars. Odd to me that before we have the freak out about the craziest thing that ever happened. Craziest thing that ever happened. She posts this and then suddenly we're stuck in the mud. Was she afraid they were going to run into a roadblock and they were going to search cars? Snyder, Texas is a long ways away from Houston, but I don't think Sarah's on the up and up with her geography.
And it was a severe attack from the enemy. And she also she wants to make it clear in that TikTok video that I'm only down here to rescue a dog. That's not why you were there. Stacey, why were y'all there? We'd love to know.
I agree with Fun to See. They could have actually drove down there to sell someone a gun.
Well, we know Stacey's history, so.
Yep, she said they were in Snyder, Texas. Christina said so she knows God is punishing her. Helen, all variations on a theme. Our captain of the coin pusher team said sometimes roadblocks happen far away too when searching for a child or specific vehicle. That is true because when we have an Amber Alert here in Oklahoma, Oklahoma does things similar to Texas. It does, if they say that this person is an Amber Alert from, let's say, Muskogee, that doesn't mean they're not going to be looking in Ponca City or Tulsa or Tahlequah or the OKC area. But again, I don't think Sarah, Texas is its own country. I don't think Sarah's on the up and up with her geography. Something about this Amber Alert freaked her out. She posted that. Next thing you know, we're on a country road. Next thing you know, we're given another testimony about the enemy attacking her. I think we're getting to it. What do you think, Avee?
Yes, this is all starting to make sense. Does it make sense to you, Stacey?
Oh, it's got to make sense to Stacey. He had a front row ticket to it. He just
Why are they trying to go off-roading in a Corolla? It's not a four-wheel drive.
Well, especially with the extra weight of cargo in it.
Yeah.
The devil tells you. Now, again, I don't think you should focus on the devil so much, but
I don't think you should focus on the devil so much, but
this is important. So he tells you that you're not going to have fun or be happy or enjoy life with Jesus. But let's look at his record, okay? Death, hate, evil,
abduction, murder. You want to add to that, Avee? Let's look at what the devil does. And look, she's got those that she's got on in this picture. Look at her hand. She's got one of those weird scabs. We talked about it on the last show. I couldn't figure out what it was. And then in this one, same hand, different pose. She's got these scabs between every finger. On this one, she just has one. It's between her ring finger and her flipper finger. So we went from, I guess, a wart to 4. They say that warts are brought on by stress. What are you stressed about? I don't believe it's getting stuck in the damn mud or a dog that you never picked up.
That's the craziest situation that she had ever been through, though.
Mm-hmm.
Getting stuck in the mud.
I have a feeling there was a lot more going on.
you know, they all seem fun for a moment because your flesh is on board. But when you are with the Lord, you have peace, hope, gentleness, patience, all the good things of God. You have a hope that's never ending. And when I say hope, the Bible's kind of hope is not like, oh, I hope tomorrow it rains. No, it's I hope. Let's say I hope tomorrow it rains. It's gonna rain. Like the Bible's hope is for sure. Okay, Jesus is for sure. And when you walk with Him, when you're truly walking with Him, because He wants you to walk with Him, it's just nothing like it. It's so much better than, man, I used to be really horrible sexual sinner. I used to be horrible, lying, cowardly. I was walking in all these sinful ways, and you know, Jesus has brought me out of those things, and He has to keep me out of those things daily. That's what it means by taking up your cross and walking with Him daily, because you are capable of going back to your flesh and sinning because you're still living in this body. But when you walk by the flesh, you feel, it's just. And then when you turn to God and you repent and you turn back to His grace.
Okay, let's talk about sexual sinner. Sarah, are you confessing to us that you're a slut? Next, I'm going to get accused of slut shaming. Sexual sinner. You horny bitch with those caterpillar eyebrows. Sexual sinner. Well, in that flop house, Sarah, the rumor is you've given more rides than the Greyhound bus. Everybody that flopped at your parents' house, where you and Stacey lived, I think part of the rent was knocking boots with you, you sexual sinner. You wanted Brandon to give you a baby. Because let's face it, aerodynamically, you and Stacey couldn't make it happen. Sexual sinner.
I used to be horrible, lying, cowardly. I was walking in all these sinful ways, and Jesus has brought me out of those things, and He has to keep me out of those things daily. That's what it means by taking up your cross and walking with Him daily, because you are capable of going back to your flesh and sinning because you're still living in this body. But when you walk by the flesh, you feel.
Great catch, two Boston moms. I was wondering what that was. It seems when they were packing for the important trip to rescue the non-existent dog before the Amber Alert out of Houston, and they took the detour down a road that's not meant to, they're not exactly off-roaders. I guess they forgot to grab his CPAP machine, because you clearly hear someone snoring. Listen to that sexy growl in the back.
Was walking in all these sinful ways, and Jesus has brought me out of those things, and He has to keep me out of those things daily. That's what it means by taking up your cross and walking with Him daily, because you are capable of going back to your flesh and sinning because you're still living in this body. But when you walk by the flesh, you feel, it's just. And then when you turn to God and you repent and you turn back to His grace, it's overwhelming love. It's overwhelming love. And that's what God wants for you. He wants you to turn back to Him, because He doesn't want you to perish in hell. He didn't make hell for you. He made hell for the devil and his fallen angels, who have the audacity to look at God and say that they want to be Him. No, that wasn't their place. And it's like, why, if you knew the goodness of God, what in the world would drive you to do that other than greed or pride? Ugly things.
I am so sick of these depraved people using the Bible. We hear it all the time with Don Wells, Lori Vallow, and Chad Daybell, and their whole entourage of freaks they hung around with. We have Sarah and Stacey. There is no repentance until you tell the truth.
Did you see Halo's comment? Great catch, Halo. Walk by the flesh. By the flesh. Usually said walk in the flesh. Is that a slip up, Sarah?
Yeah. What's going on with that?
What is that?
I'm still stuck on sexual sinner. Sophie said, was she religious before Monkey's disappearance? JLR picked this out, and many others, but I'm going to give him credit. When he talked to Carson Starkey, great interview, by the way, we will be going through it another day. He said, it seems like all the over-the-top religious posting, hopefully I'm saying that right and not offending anybody, seemed to have started after the abduction of Michael Vaughn. That's when the real fire and brimstone, walking by the flesh, We're all sinners. All of that stuff. The real over-the-top stuff happened after Michael was abducted. Definitely. All right, well, they did go through New Mexico because I recognize this landscape for sure. Beautiful state. Now, they're on the interstate. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Obviously, you know what a road looks like. So her story was, this is on the way back on the Texas trip. I'm still on the Texas trip. Let me see, right here. This is after the mud. Melrose, New Mexico is 3 hours away from Snyder, Texas. Why did she not just drive Stacey to the hospital if he needed medical care, urgent care, whatever? Got to Melrose, New Mexico, and now I believe because of elevation, Stacey Wandra can't breathe and have the ambulance coming to check him out. Please pray. Okay. Then she posts, this is on October 7th. Stacey's out of the hospital. Stacey's out of the hospital. One of their friends said, what did they say was the cause? She said, he just walked out. They didn't tell him. The friend said, it should be in his discharge papers if he was in the ER. Hopefully it was nothing serious. She replies, he didn't get papers because he signed against medical advice form and left. Him, smelling bullshit from forever away, said, I see. I see. I see.
Did you see Jolly Life comment? Jolly Life? I can read it if it's because I've got lag time on my MacBook.
Go ahead.
It says, I messaged a guy that I saw was friends with Sarah and aren't friends anymore. He used to live with them, but Sarah started having different religion beliefs than him, so he moved out. Interesting.
Well, Brandon tried to sell that same bill of goods too, but we know that he was there at least until March of 2022. But I would love to see that conversation. I would love to see it. And I hope whoever has it, anybody that has information, if you don't want to call, email it. Email your screenshots. Email it. Someone that seems like they might know a lot and it's something that you haven't heard about anywhere else, email it. The banner's at the bottom. You're not going to be in trouble. Yes, Jolly Life. Do tell. Grab the link. Grab the link. Look at all that shit in the dash. M&M's, a ton of friggin' napkins. Looks like we got a burrito wrapped up there. Clean your shit, Candace.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see
Okay, back to the mud. All right. All right. Speaking of New Mexico, Avee pointed this out to me yesterday. Now then, again, it is 3 hours from Snyder, Texas, where she claimed to be. Who knows if they were really in Snyder? Who knows? Okay, Christina, I agree. I agree. I should not. That's a very hypocritical thing that I just said. She goes, can't criticize car snacks, especially through New Mexico. This is true. When I go on the road with old DT driver, you ought to see the mess I make. I'm always eating because I'm just sitting there looking out the window. Jolly Life, thank you. She said, I'll go check my messages and see if I still have them. It was a short conversation, but I'll try and find it. Yeah, send it over. Let me put my email in here. cll72020@gmail.com. Okay, so this is where she's taken a picture of AeroCare, which is sort of, I guess, like Life Flight, right, Avee?
Yes. I call it air vac. I don't know if I have it right, but yes, someone was airlifted in to a hospital.
Well, what hospitals are around? Melrose, New Mexico Hospital. Hang on. Melrose Medical Clinic. As far as a hospital, I don't know. I don't know that old boy got airlifted. She just said, pray for this person, just got life flighted, gonna post a part 2 next. Pray for yourself. Also, time is short. Well, you know that better than anyone, right, Sarah? Because I believe you are the manipulator. I believe Sarah is the mastermind. Just my opinion.
Wow, I never even pressed play. That sucks. I just saw this helicopter land here. I thought I had pressed record, but I guess I did not. But anyway, this helicopter landing here, it smells so bad. It smells like butane. Like, seriously, like, you could smell the fuel just coming off. It kind of makes you nauseous. Stinks. But yeah, I just literally watched this helicopter land. You know?
But you were more freaked out about the mud than life flight?
And I think she's in the hospital parking lot and she's watching this person that I definitely think it's not Stacey. I'm gonna go ahead and let the fat shaming come out because I think they need a bigger helicopter. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I'm over it. I'm just being really mean girl right now. But she's sitting in the hospital parking lot. Stacey has to go to the hospital because, elevation or whatever. I think he was having a panic attack because they were afraid of getting caught out there where they shouldn't have been doing what they shouldn't have been doing. And he had a full-on panic attack. And for some reason, she's not his. Stacey, your loving, sweet, precious Mucinex bride couldn't come in the hospital with you while you were having a panic attack?
I agree. And I think a lot of their hospital stays, I don't think the emergency room on July 26th happened. I think there was a plan in place. I think the hospital visits, if they happened, were all out of, like you said, panic. Panic. Again, these are not very healthy people. Their heart starts fluttering and they have problems breathing. They are definitely going to get medical attention. Lisa, thank you for the super sticker and thank you for everything you do keeping the names of the missing out there. Love ya, love ya, love ya. Yeah, I don't think it's Stacey either because they'd have to bring him in on a flatbed. Sorry, Stacey.
off that kind of makes me nauseous. But yeah, I just literally watched this helicopter land. You know? That was so crazy. I wonder if we can see it take off here soon. I don't know. Struggling to car.
Mesmerizing, Sarah. Lynn, thank you for this. Lynn, I would love to have you come up. She said he's lost weight, so I've heard. I heard that. While he was in the slammer, he got all slim and trim on that prison diet. Cat, he can lose weight, but that will never make him not an evil POS. KDA, gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. See what you're missing, Stacey? If you would come in and chat with us, you could be a member. You could be in the members live. You could win a prize. I have a feeling you would win at trivia. Thank you, KDA, for making it rain, girlfriend. Okay, look at this, Avee. I got to find it again. Pinto. This is a very valid point. Most dog rescues charge adoption fees because they've got food, shots, vet, you name it. That's how they keep their organization running. So if you had enough money to get there and get back, yet in all of these videos that you posted of your trips, Sarah, we never hear a yipping dog. Do you have the same dogs as Don Wells? How are we not hearing a dog?
Great point. Great point. They wouldn't have had enough money for those adoption fees.
No, they didn't have enough money for a tow truck.
That's right, according to Sarah.
Funny story. Years ago, my son was in FHA, Future Farmers of America. FFA. Not FHA, that's a mortgage loan. Okay, anyhow, so he had to have a animal to take care of. Well, cats and dogs didn't count. I tried to adopt a pet, potbelly pig, you know, kind of like George Clooney used to have. Karma Libra. So glad you're back. Somehow by accident, you got blocked. And I noticed you weren't in chat, so I just went to check it. And I'm like, well, how did that happen? Sometimes the chat moves fast. You certainly didn't do anything wrong, and glad you are back. Anyhow, I was denied adoption of the potbelly pig. I assumed it's because obviously it was going to be a pet and a member of the family, but I thought maybe because it was, you know, I had mentioned that my son needs an animal to take care of for Future Farmers of America. Do you know what she told me? She denied me because when we were on the phone, I mentioned that I had made bacon for breakfast and was cleaning up. True story. Did she think I was going to eat the pig? The potbelly pig?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Some people take that stuff real serious. Real serious. All right. Again, Avee's been doing a lot of digging. Let's start with topic 1, Stacey. You got your notes ready, Avee?
I got 7.5 pages of notes ready. Buckle up, Stacey.
Because I'm not going to go through the video. I want Stacey to hear what other people are picking up on. We're going to start with the guns. You see, felons that have guns are in deep doo-doo, as you know, Stacey. Brandon had a lot to say, Bowie Bear, about the guns. I'm going to let Avee elaborate on that.
Yes, so I wrote down his words so that way y'all wouldn't have to listen to him. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Brandon
Avee.
says, you're so welcome. But Brandon says that Stacey got arrested first, and then after that, Sarah got arrested not long after that. It was all over guns. It was all over a .17 caliber, some kind of little gun they had. So as I was looking, let me go to page 4 and 5 of my notes. In the same interview with JLR, he talked, oh no, I have it right here. And this is timestamp 2446 if y'all are interested. He says, because before at first he said, hey, I know that you're not a felon and you can have guns. Do you want me to try to find you a gun? And I said, no, I already have a gun and I don't need to get another one, you know? But if you are going to sell that other 17 or whatever, I'll buy it if I get money from you guys paying me for doing taxiing, you know? That was our first previous conversation. That's what Brandon said. And it wasn't the 17 what Stacey, isn't that the one that you got arrested for? I guess Brandon didn't buy it or do taxiing for you to get it. Is that the same 17?
Is that the same one? Actually, I'm going to play that clip because let's hear it out of Brandon's mouth and watch him soaking in the hot tub.
Oh, yeah. Do you know where in California?
I have no idea.
You're in a hot tub. I see you're in a hot tub. What's that, the North Dakota life?
Yeah, that's North Dakota life, trying to stay warm out here right now.
Yeah. Interesting. So interesting. Now, did you know that, like, Stacey had, like, crazy criminal record in the past of being in the feds and locked up and all that kind of stuff? Did you know that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he talked to me previously before that, and he said that he got locked up for, like, a year or two because he lied on a federal application to buy a gun or something at a store.
So you seen him with guns. Like, why would he still have guns if he already got arrested for it? Did he just not care? Or?
I think that was it or something. Because at first he said, hey, I know that you're not a felon and you can have guns. Do you want me to try to find you a gun? And I said, no, I already have a gun. I don't need to get another one, you know?
Boom. Boom. Now let's go back to what Fun to Ski said about the trip to Texas. We never heard a dog barking when we are in the hotel listening to Stacey snore. That would have woke a dog up. In the hotel, we have our Christian rock going in the back. When we're watching the life or Aerovac, whatever you want to call it, at the hospital, we don't hear a dog. Do you think the trip had to do with pew-pews?
Very well could have been. Unless they did get a dog like Candace and Dawn. I mean, and then I saw someone mention an invisible breed dog. I didn't know that those existed, but maybe so. Maybe that's why there's no pictures, video, barking. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Well, like I said, pew-pews don't bark. Pew-pews don't bark. Now let's talk about this. Did Stacey actually want a child? Now, supposedly he got his nuts broke while riding bulls in the rodeo. I'm going to pass on my opinion of that. I've gotten myself in enough trouble for picking on them. Do you think Stacey actually wanted a child? Because when sexy Sarah was gently stroking the inside of Brandon's thigh, seducing him, and asked him to give her a child, did Stacey not want a child? What do you think, Avee? We've had a lot of conversations about this.
I mean, Stacey, you can answer us in chat if you want to. Everybody wants to know who wanted the child. Was it you or Sarah? It's a little all over the place for us. We just need a little bit of clarification, if you don't mind.
And with all the sing your praise to the Lord, cue Amy Grant, why was Stacey okay with everybody paying their rent in a different way around the house? They're driving taxis and they're plugging the Grand Canyon when Stacey's snoring. Let's see what Brandon has to say about that.
Right, and he wanted a kid and she really didn't.
Oh, she didn't want a child.
No, she didn't really want to have a kid, but he was trying to push that on her.
So is it possible? Okay, so you're with Sarah and you're with Adrian out or getting your car and bringing it back. Is it possible Stacey was home left alone and did something and maybe like went out and snatched Michael? I mean, how do you do you guys know about Stacey's whereabouts at the time?
I personally don't. So I'm saying that could be a possibility.
Because
that could be a possibility. Get to your notes, Avee. I hear it. I hear the paper.
Yeah, where was Stacey that day? I have the notes. Give me one moment and I will find them because Brandon really threw you under the bus. I have them in my notes. Give me one moment. Sorry, y'all are hearing the page flipping. I thought I had this better. It was late, y'all. It was up until about 3.
You're okay, but I agree 100% with Lynn. She said, I don't think Stacey wanted a child, and she did. Brandon is a liar. I think this is going to come down, my opinion only, this is going to come down to Brandon and Sarah. And everybody else got caught up in what they did.
This is on page 5 of my notes. He said that you were back at the house. He doesn't know, but he also doesn't know if you were at the house or not. So I guess where were you? Seems like Brandon doesn't know, but he sure as hell going to throw you under the bus right here. Because over here on page 5, and he just said it here. He said it could be a possibility. It could be a possibility that you abducted Michael, Stacey. That's what Brandon said. He said, I personally don't know. I'm saying that could be a possibility. Whoa. Could be a possibility that you abducted Michael, according to Brandon.
Big one.
2637. Goodness. Is this your friend? I personally don't. So I'm saying that could be a possibility.
Could be a possibility. Now let's rewind to earlier in the show, and we've talked about it many times on here. We've pointed it out. When the cops busted in on Beached Whale that Friday in November of 2022, she blamed everyone in that house except for Brandon.
Yes, she did.
And Brandon, you're covering for Sarah because you two had the plan. I don't think Adrian was with Brandon and Sarah when Michael was abducted. Again, just my opinion. All right, now let's get to this. We're at 29:44. And take a drink of that, Avee.
Wow. My goodness. Ladies, please calm down. Everybody calm down, okay?
Take a gulp. Woo! Avee wants a straw and she wants to suck on that hot tub water.
He's a pretty big dude.
He's a heavy feller. He's like 450, 500 pounds.
He's a heavy feller. He's like 450, 500 pounds. So, Brandon, are you fat shaming your friend Stacey? Because when I notice my friends have gained a little bit of weight, I'm not like, wow, you're a big bitch. How much you weigh now? But I get yelled at for fat shaming. Are you serious? JLR, he's a pretty big dude. Oh, he's a big feller. He's like 450, 500 pounds.
First things first. Where's your shitter? I've got a turtle head poking in. I got a crap on deck that could choke a donkey. Oh.
Woo! Don't do that. Now, something that I find very intriguing is when Brandon, pay attention, Stacey, I have a feeling you're listening. When he mentions the crawl space next to their bed. I don't know about you, but when I'm in other people's homes, I don't use their bathroom in their master bedroom. I don't care if my bladder's about to burst. I don't go through their bedroom. I couldn't tell you what people's bedrooms look like. Couldn't tell you. Let's listen to this. This is extremely important.
1, 2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath in a garage house.
Do they have a basement?
And they have a crawl space under.
He asked, do they have a basement? And they have a crawl space.
They're there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there.
You walk in their master bedroom, you take a right, and there's a crawl space there. Why would this be significant? Why would this trigger Hot Tub Man? Why would it trigger his memory? He was asked about a basement. He could have easily said, no, they don't have a basement and moved on. But he volunteers when you walk in their master bedroom on the right, there's a crawl space.
And he
Avee?
gives so many details. If y'all listen, he gives so many details about this crawl space. I have never seen someone so fascinated and obsessed with a crawl space. I mean, who's going to spend that much time describing a crawl space and why? Why, Stacey? It's interesting.
The exact, I mean, he's given directions to the damn thing. Listen to him again. JLR, do they have a basement?
They have a crawl space under there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there. And I know that was open one day, and I went in there and looked, and there was like some kind of one of their cats that got down in there and pissed everywhere.
Why one day was he curious about the crawl space and decided to go in their master bedroom, unless it was thruple night, to check out the crawl space? I'm sure the whole house stunk. I don't think cat piss was offending his sinuses that day.
Stacey, did y'all's crawl space smell like cat piss? Brandon said it did. Is that true?
It's triggering, but we're going to listen to it again.
Manufactured stick-built home, just a regular 1, 2, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and a garage house.
Do they have a basement?
And they have a crawl space under there in their master bedroom. You walk in their master bedroom, take a right, and there's like this little crawl space right there. And I know that was open one day, and I went in there and looked, and there was like some kind of one of their cats that got down in there and pissed everywhere.
Oh, really? Why were you looking down there?
Because it was open.
Oh, you were just seeing what it was.
Yeah.
What about an attic?
No, the door was open, like they wanted their cats to go down in there or something. Or like that was another. I don't know. I went in their bedroom and looked to the right one day, and then that thing was open. Their basement crawl space door.
Where's it at in their bedroom? Under their bed? Is it noticeable? Is it hidden?
It's kind of, you go in their bedroom and then you go straight into their master bedroom. There's a shower on the left, and then right when you turn to the right, there's just like this little hatch door that opens.
But if someone just
No fat shaming here, only going to talk physics. Thank you, Angel P. Neither Sarah or Stacey could fit in that crawl hole if it's the standard size. You could, Brandon. You could, Brandon.
So many details about this crawl space. Is anybody else noticing that? I see you list one day. I doubt it was just one day. I agree.
just you could see the hatch from the wall, or you could tell something's there. I mean, is it hidden?
It's cut into the carpet, so it's like just a big piece of carpet with like a little square kind of cut out on two sides, and then it comes open.
Do they have a attic?
No, sir. I don't think they do.
Is their house? What at the time you were there, was it all dirty, messy, clean?
For the most part, it's pretty messy.
I think I saw a photo of you sleeping on the couch.
Yeah. That's pretty much the main spot where I hung out. Is just answered phones off the couch and went and drove taxis and went back to the couch, played PS4 and drank some beers and went to bed.
Mr. Innocent. I just played some PS4, ran some taxi, answered the phone. I just minded my own business, but I knew where their crawl space was, and Sarah wanted me to get her pregnant. Other than that, I just minded my own business. Oh, I happened to be with Sarah on the 27th of July. Britt said, you're going to love this, Avee. So he is insinuating that he was there alone, but being curious. I'm picking up on that too. He wouldn't need to go poke around if they were there. Lynn said, personally, I feel like Adrian was needed with his connection to Ohio because Ohio is big in human trafficking. I agree.
I am loving chat today.
Every day. Every day.
Yes, every day. But yes, today y'all are all over it.
So, okay, Karma has a question. Why was he so special that he got to sit around the house and slug back some tall boys, Coors Banquet, whatever, but she didn't want anyone else in the house to drink?
Yes, Karma, because I guess Tanner couldn't. Let me go back to my notes. Tanner couldn't. She wanted Brandon to be her buoy bear.
Mm-hmm. And Brandon is the only one she hasn't turned on. Oh, Brandy. Brandy said, sorry, love, sicker than a dog. Everybody has been getting sick. As you know, our friend Susan, just me, she's in the hospital with flu type A, I believe. And it is bad this year. a person, I'm going to talk like Sarah, that I know that works at the hospital here, said the ERs are full. But you know what's weird is when people around here go to the ER, they, to be examined, they have to put a gown on and everything. They don't get to wear their rebel hat and hoodie. But anyway, that's a different case. Get well soon, Brandy. Okay, let's go back to what you were saying.
No, I was just saying that, and I didn't write it down, or maybe I didn't. I have 2 notebooks, y'all. Sorry. But Tanner, there was an issue with Tanner. But I was just saying, I think that Tanner couldn't be drinking in the house, but Brandon could. And that was what Karma brought up. Really interesting.
100%. And I'm glad that Karma picked up on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything was a no-no. Maybe Tanner wasn't giving her that big D that's on fire. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't keeping up with the Flophouse contract. Now let's get to where he talks about Stacey being such a piggy.
Who else was in that house that you've seen when you were there? Like anyone else that we haven't named that was inside that house ever?
I think there was like three or four people at least when I was there that came there. And this one guy, he got in trouble for like a BB gun and some knives or something like that. He went outside the house because him and another person other than Tanner got in a fight with Sarah about staying in the house and God and religion and all that. And he went cruising around the neighborhood and he had like some kind of a knife still. And he was threatening that if he doesn't get to come back in the house, then he's going to like slice some people up or do this and that.
What's it?
Oh, that's awesome. Gonna slice some people up. Wow.
Okay, so it was weapons for Tanner. I'm making my notes. Sorry, y'all. So it was the weapons. That was the issue. Okay.
Well, and didn't Sarah, refresh my memory, didn't she beat Tanner up with a dog bone or some shit like that?
Mm-hmm. And it's because she didn't handle the situation correctly. I'm pretty sure those were Brandon's exact words. What situation? Interesting. What was the situation?
Yeah, Brandon. B-Dog shirts. What was the situation? And why did you feel the need to check on the crawl space? Who cares if a cat got down in the crawl space? Because we know that these two right here in the front of the Escalade, they're in the Escalade there. Escalades are big and they take up the whole effing front seat. You couldn't get a dime between Sarah and Stacey. They could never. I don't care if you grease it with Vaseline and put a Twinkie at the other end of it. You're not going to get them in that crawl space. But look at you, skinny bones. You could get in there.
What's his name?
I'm not quite sure on that. It was just some guy that was kind of walking the streets of Ontario.
And they brought him to the house.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was like a homeless guy in Ontario that they met one day and they just brought him back to his house.
Interesting. It does seem like it goes into a pattern of them just bringing people off the streets, or, you know, people just, they feel like they want to help and bringing strangers into their home.
Yeah. So if something did happen, it happened like that. You know what I mean? Just people that you don't even know who the hell they are or what they're doing or what their motives are. And they just bring them in like their family. You know what I mean?
What were they all like? Would you all eat dinner together? Who cooked? Like, did everybody fend for themselves?
No, Sarah. We'd go out shopping, Sarah and I, and then we'd come home and she'd cook a nice meal for Stacey and I and her and whoever was over there for a guest, you know.
Oh, she took care of everybody around the flop house.
Sounds like it in more ways than just one.
But then why was Brandon the one going out grocery shopping with her? Then they would come home and the thruple would sit together and eat dinner together as Sarah served her men. Who was the bread and who was the meat? Let's take a poll. Who was the bread and who was the meat in this person sandwich? Thank you so much, Jules, for making it rain.
That was the usual behavior.
Did Sarah use profanity?
She tried not to, but when she got really super mad, yes, sir, she was good at it.
What would she get mad about?
She'd just get mad about her house not being perfectly clean or things not being the way that she wanted them to be, and just a lot of OCD. She had a lot of OCD and things being just how she left them.
Would she get mad at others or mad at herself?
No, mad at others.
Because like Stacey would leave something out and she would get mad.
Yeah.
So you
right.
So have you seen them arguing with each other?
Yeah, almost every day. She'd go around and he'd be making messes and she'd be cleaning it up and getting after him, trying to whap him with a pot and a pan, just like, you son of a bitch, clean your shit up or get.
You son of a bitch, clean your shit up. I'm going to beat you with a pot and a pan. And tonight you're going to be sleeping on the couch. And Brandon's going to be my buoy bear.
My favorite part's coming up, what he says about Stacey. Brandon thinks that you're a pig. You're just a messy pig.
Messy pig.
Gosh, Brandon is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
So you've seen her hit him with pots and pans?
Well, she didn't actually hit him, but if
Right.
I would have been her, hit him, because sometimes he makes messes and he just don't care, and he's kind of like a little pig in a pig pen, just kind of really sloppy.
Burn, Stacey.
Burn, Stacey.
He said, I would have if I was her, because he makes messes and he just don't care. And he's kind of like a little pig in a pig pen, just kind of really sloppy. Burn, Stacey. Ouch.
Is that you, Big Stace? Is that you? According to Brandon, it is. You're a piggy.
Did you ever see her actually hit him or him hit her?
No, they never did that when I was there. They were just like, they'd just talk back and forth, kind of getting like, oh, I love you, little Boo Bear. I love you, little Boo Bear. And they'd be back and forth. And they were just like jokesters, kidsters.
Did she actually try to hit on you, or is that true or no?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she liked me. She was trying to get at me pretty good there for a long time. And I said, hey, listen, you're married. You know what I mean? We can't even be on the same couch chilling together doing this and that. And I'm not going to give
another this and that. Just like the day that Michael was abducted. We fill in the time gaps, and there's a lot of them, with this and that, this and that. I told her we can't just sit on the couch and chill and do this and that. Well, what made her think she could proposition you with knocking her up? And he forgot that earlier in the interview, he said Stacey wanted kids, Sarah didn't. But now it's Sarah wanted a baby so bad, but because Mr. Bull Rider crunched up balls, he can't give her a baby. She wanted Brandon to.
Give you and Stacey a kid, and I'm not going to do that. I'll help you guys do taxi, and other than that, I'm going home. And that's what made him mad.
She actually said she wanted you to give them a kid.
Well, she said that before, and like when they were hanging out in Vegas, living in Vegas, that she said that she tried to do that with somebody else before, and they wanted to know if I'd be able to do that for them. And I said, yeah, probably not.
Interesting. What were they doing in Vegas?
I think they just went over there and they had some friends or doing taxis over there.
I think Stacey might have a sister or a relative that lives in Vegas. You know anything about that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
So
I know that.
No, go ahead.
I know that they went over there and they did like a long distance taxis. That's like how they made their best money, because instead of like hundreds of dollars, it goes to thousands of dollars. So that's how they make their better money traveling across country.
Yeah, because right after, okay, for one other question about you. So you done no sexual stuff with Sarah ever?
Well, at one time or another, we were just kind of like hanging out, laying on a mattress. She was trying to make out with me, this or that, and kind of like fill me up a little bit. And I said, whoa, 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 slow down. You're already married, you know? So from
So you did, Brandon.
Listen.
You did.
Yeah, he, this or that. There he goes with that again. And she kind of filled me up a little bit. And I said, whoa, 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 slow down. He told her to slow down. He didn't tell her to stop. Stacey, were you aware of this? They weren't even on a bed. They were on a mattress.
Probably
What
the
kind
mattress
of people
in the
are these?
bedroom. Probably the mattress in the master bedroom. This and that. The question was simple. Earlier, JLR asked, do they have a basement? No. Next question is how most people would answer it. No, they have a crawl space. When you go into their master bedroom, on the left is the shower, and on the right is a crawl space. He describes the carpet. He describes, we can envision it. I hate to, but we can. And then, like Helen said, sex goddess there. He's asked again, so you never did anything sexual with Sarah? No. But she was feeling me up on the mattress. You already said earlier in the interview, you told her we can't even sit on the couch and chill and this and that because you're already married. So what were you?
They can sit on they can get on the mattress though. They just couldn't get on the couch. So I guess the mattress is different, y'all. Silly us.
Yeah, explain the difference, please.
Before, and they wanted to know if I'd be able to do that for them. And I said, yeah, probably not.
Interesting. What were they doing in Vegas?
I think they just went over there and they had some friends or doing taxis over there.
I think Stacey might have a sister or a relative that lives in Vegas. You know anything about that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
So
I know that.
No, go ahead.
I know that they went over there and they did like a long distance taxis. That's like how they made their best money, because instead of like hundreds of dollars, it goes to thousands of dollars. So that's how they make their better money traveling across country.
Yeah, because right after, okay, for one other question about you. So you done no sexual stuff with Sarah ever?
Well, at one time or another, we were just kind of like hanging out, laying on a mattress. She was trying to make out with me, this or that, and kind of like fill me up a little bit. And I said, whoa, 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 slow down. You're already married, you know? So from there, that was about the part.
So she's doing this while she's playing the god.
Hang on. I heard Bubbles. Did he fart in the hot tub? Listen.
Before, and they wanted to know if I'd be able to do that for them. And I said, yeah, probably not.
Interesting. What were they doing in Vegas?
I think they just went over there and they had some friends or doing taxis over there.
I think Stacey might have a sister or a relative that lives in Vegas. You know anything about that?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
So
I know that.
No, go ahead.
I know that they went over there and they did like a long distance taxis. That's like how they made their best money, because instead of like hundreds of dollars, it goes to thousands of dollars. So that's how they make their better money traveling across country.
Yeah, because right after, okay, for one other question about you. So you done no sexual stuff with Sarah ever?
Well, at one time or another, we were just kind of like hanging out, laying on a mattress. She was trying to make out with me, this or that, and kind of like fill me up a little bit. And I said, whoa, 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 slow down. You're already married, you know? So from there, that was about the part.
So she's doing this while she's playing the God card, religious card.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's why I don't like religion. It puts a bad taste in my mouth and others. It's like, you can't do stuff like that if you're going to pretend like you're holier than thou, you know?
yeah. Now, do you know anything about their trip to Texas? In like around, I guess, a couple months after Michael Vaughn went missing, they went to Texas.
No, sir. I know nothing about that recent. Now, I do recall them saying something about that previously where Sarah lived in Texas with another man.
Okay.
Now, I don't know nothing about that, but I know it was kind of like not a good deal.
So it's my belief that Sarah was once married prior to Stacey. I believe it was to a last name of a guy named Chambers.
Yep, that might be him.
Ricky Chambers, I believe.
Yep, I think that sounds right.
So
now he's got suds, and not our friend suds, on his beard or his goatee. Look at this.
Him.
Ricky Chambers, I believe.
Yep.
And he just spit in the hot tub. He farted in the hot tub, and he spit in the hot tub, and now it looks like he's got a cum bubble on his face. Wiz said his beer is gone, LOL. Lie after lie after lie after lie. And he did not want to talk about this Texas trip.
I love his face. I love his face when JLR pulls up or talks about Texas. Has anyone else noticed it? Look at his face.
He doesn't want to answer anything about the Texas trip. I bet Carson knew they were gone for a while. I bet Dorothy knew. I bet everybody knew.
Oh, is this when they asked Carson to, like feed the cats and Carson didn't want to go in the house? Is that what the trip was? Remember that, Carson's interview?
He did mention that he was asked to watch the house when they were out of town, but he didn't want to. But of course, he barely knows them. He knows them so little that when Stacey Wandra was in jail, he just happened to remember Carson's phone number and called him.
I think that sounds right.
So he does have ties to Texas and Arkansas and Oregon. So maybe that's why she was there. I don't
know.
Okay, he's getting real nervous. He's kind of shaking his head up and down like a bobblehead. He's shaking his head up and down. He just went, maybe, because he knows JLR is real close. Too close for Christmas, if you know what I mean.
Did she ever talk about her ex-husband?
She talked about him a couple times about like how she wanted to get out of there, and then he got mad one time and kind of locked her in a room, and they were fighting way back in the day before I knew her. That's all I heard about it.
When?
Have you seen a picture of her ex-husband? No way did he have her locked in a room beating on her. When these two would have sex, it would look like a toothpick on a hamburger bun. This guy was skin and bones. No way did he have her blocked off, beating on her in a room. This dude was as big as one of her legs, Avee.
When and where did Stacey get married to, or Stacey and Sarah get married? Where? When and where?
I think they got married somewhere in Montana, and just like not too much. They were only married for a year or two before I met Stacey. And then after that, he was like, hey, you want to come to my house and hang out and bring the barbecuer in and meet my wife, and we'll have a good time. Like I think his grandpa taught him and instilled like some family values into him. So Stacey's a good guy when he don't lie, but he's got some kind of fetal alcohol syndrome, which prevents him from being normal.
Stacey, this is your buddy. You've shared more than a few beers and taxi rides with him. You shared Sarah. Now here he is saying you're a good guy when you're not lying, but since you have fetal alcohol syndrome, it prevents you. Lisa Durr said Brandon knows about that Texas trip. He was living there, Brooks. Bingo! He was there, according to her digital footprints, up until March of 2022. He was with Sarah, verified the day that Michael Vaughn was abducted. He wasn't about to answer anything about the trip to Texas. Right on, Lisa.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing.
So what month and year did you meet Stacey?
I probably met him in like 2020 or 2019, something like that, a couple years back. And then I helped him with this. There was this other gentleman, his name was Labor Dave, and he had a lawn mowing business and furniture moving business. And that's where we met, is when I was a U-Haul driver and I helped go around and move everybody's furniture, me and him.
And how I missed this before, I will never know, Avee. Now my mind is when he was a U-Haul driver moving furniture.
It's really interesting. Was he moving furniture? What was he moving? I don't think it was furniture. I don't think any of these businesses that he discusses are legit businesses, if you get what I'm getting at.
Oh, I smell what you're stepping in, because we have the oil changing business in Ontario, the laundry business, the taxi business, the U-Haul business now. Now, you and I have had a lot of conversations about codes and things that people say on the internet, particularly about these shell companies.
Yes. Those taxi runs, the way he says it doesn't sound like taxi run to me. It sounds more like a DRUG run, in my opinion.
You got that right. I mean, we have another case where people came from New York down to Tennessee, supposedly to move there and get jobs. But once they got there, they turned around and the whole caravan went back, but they left one person behind because that person liked the mountains and fresh air, even though in upstate New York, the whole damn Adirondacks and fresh air are there.
What town was that in?
That was probably in like Boise, Idaho.
Okay, so you met him in Boise.
Yeah.
According to his court stuff, he got out of jail or prison or jail in May of 2020.
Yep. So right after he got out, just a little bit after he got out, that's when I met him. And I thought he was just a normal person, but comes to find out, the more you hang out with him every day, stuff started to get weird from there.
Like what weird?
Like just daily activities and daily behavior. He'd try to be a businessman, but he tried to take on more than he could. He tried to bite off more than he could chew. You know what I'm saying? So he'd try to say, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to buy this storage shed and we're going to move it all here. And then we'll resell it and we'll make good money and it'll be good for the family. You guys.
What family? Avee, let's talk about this. This is a big boom moment, in my opinion.
The family, just like the way when we were listening to that attorney's, whenever he on the body cam footage, he refers to the kid, and Brendan makes those statements in this interview as well. The kid, the family. It's really interesting. Who is the family, Stacey?
That's what I want to know. This would be good for the family. We'll get a shed, a storage shed, and it'll be good for the family.
He says, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to buy the storage shed and we're going to move it all here, and then we'll resell it and we'll make good money and it'll be good for the family.
It'll be
What is
good.
it?
It.
It. What going to move it all here and then we'll resell it.
What is the it? The shed or its contents? What is shed code for? Because you're not going to tell me that the day after, well, it wasn't the day, August 1st of 2021, Michael was abducted July 27th of 2021. Stacey puts up the picture of Michael Vaughn, changes his profile picture. Some would say that is advertisement. This guy, he said, "Is that you, Stacey?" He said, "No, this is a child that went missing in our neighborhood and has been gone for 5 days, and no one can find him. He's only 5 years old." Then he puts up his poster. Now, this guy, and if you look up his record, he's a dirty critter too, because birds of a feather flock together. He said, "Hope the boy will be back soon." Then this Michelle Anderson says, "What is going on?"
Great question. We'd all love to know what was going on, Stacey. Very interesting.
I was ready to go out and do that. And then when it came time to doing the work, you'd find just me and Sarah trying to scoop things up. And he'd be like, "Come on, guys. I can't walk around right now because my feet hurt because I'm overweight."
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
He'd make you feel bad for the guy. And then you're like, well, shit, I'll give you a hand. And then after that, you're just getting looped into one thing and another. And then it's just, he just never stops being, he's ambitious, but he can't do that much because he's overweight. So
back to the fat shaming, right? He's ambitious, but he can't do that much because he's such a fat ass. He's so overweight. So overweight. Hey guys,
what's he referring to whenever he says get looped into one thing or another? What get looped into what? Looped into one thing or another? That's interesting.
I don't know. You get looped into one thing or another. Hey guys, let's light the chat up for Michael Vaughn. We are here talking about Michael Vaughn. He is still missing. As I said yesterday on the show, I understand there's a lot of other cases and a lot of other things going on in the world. I've only got 2 arms and 1 computer. We are talking about Michael Vaughn, so please, let's light the chat up for him. His mom is in chat, other family members. Looped into one thing or another. Well, what could that be, Brandon? Because I think that you and Sarah were doing the looping.
I tried to get him skinnier, and I tried to say, "Hey, let's go out and get out of the house, get off the couch, quit eating chips. You're going to die soon. You're going to freaking die if you don't quit eating, man. You got to get some exercise or your heart's literally going to stop beating."
Woo! Again, you guys shared more than taxi rides. You shared Sarah. I said, "Man, you got to quit eating all the time." We saw that picture of Stacey, and it looked like his ankles were about to bust. It looked like he had a lot of water on there. So here we have Jenny Craig giving him diet tips. What a pal, what a friend, and the only person that Sarah will not point a finger at, and it kind of seems to say with him, same with him. So he tells him, "Buddy, gotta quit eating so much. Damn it, Stacey, put down the cheeseburger."
tried to take on more than he could. He tried to bite off more than he could chew. You know what I'm saying? So he tried to say, hey, we're going to go out here and we're going to buy this storage shed and we're going to move it all here. And then we'll resell it and we'll make good money and it'll be good for the family. You guys ready to go out and do that? And then when it came time to doing the work, you'd find just me and Sarah trying to scoop things up. And he'd be like, come on, guys. I can't walk around right now because my feet hurt because I'm overweight.
Wow, interesting. Yeah.
He'd make you feel bad for the guy, and then you're like,
So then how would he maneuver a shovel? How would he build a shed? How would he push a car out of the mud? How would any of these things happen? Because he is not a healthy person. Not a healthy person. And again, not fat shaming. I'm talking about what Brandon said.
Well, shit, I'll give you a hand. And then after that, you're just getting looped into one thing and another. And then it's just, he just never stops being, he's ambitious, but he can't do that much because he's overweight. So I tried to get him here and I tried to say, hey, let's go out and get out of the house, get off the couch, quit eating chips. You're going to die soon. You're going to freaking die if you don't quit eating, man. You got to get some exercise or your heart's literally going to stop beating.
Yeah, I feel you, dude. I feel you. I saw, what he looks like and whatnot. What is his habits? Like, what does he like to do for fun?
That's a good thing you bring up there. He likes to just watch TV and eat junk food and not really do a whole lot of nothing other than talk on the phone.
Talk on the phone to who?
Whoever he can find that'll listen to him.
Interesting. Did he have an iPhone or an Android?
He had one of those iPhones, like a iPhone 12, 13, 14. He always loved his little iPhone.
Do you know if he had AT&T, Verizon? What phone network did he say he had?
I think he was with Verizon when he started his new company, and then he went with those guys, and then the bill got up in excess of $15,000-$20,000.
Wow.
And then from there, he couldn't pay it. And he said, oh, no, what do I do? Can you help me with my bills? And I said, well, sure. Let's look at the bill. How big is it? And you look at it, and it's like 20 grand. And he's just on there buying like new little phones and this and that. And, he's always taken on more than he can handle. And that was the biggest issue with me and Stacey.
Yeah. Did he ever talk about kids?
Not really. Not usually, no. That's why this strikes.
Not really, not usually, no. That's why this strikes me. Go back to minute mark, I believe it's 26:19, where he says he was really heavily pressuring Sarah for a child, but she didn't want one. She wasn't interested in that pogo stick. But then she goes to Brandon while they're laying on the mattress doing this and that, and says to Brandon she really wants a child. Even propositioned someone in Vegas, but that didn't work out. And now we're back to square one.
Me is strange. The only time that happened is like once or twice during the whole 1 or 2 years that I was there. And he's like, I'd like to have a kid for when I pass away, because it'd make my wife happy. Just like you guys are saying on your video or whatever. That is true. It's confirmed.
So the video's not.
It's confirmed. Did you catch that, Avee? It's confirmed.
It's confirmed. Well, it came from Brandon, so it has to be true.
That I've put out that you've seen, what is not true that you've seen, that you noticed that with me covering this case, what is not true?
The only thing that like upset me or kind of got to me a little bit is the whole part about me and my Montana friends or whatever. That's Guthrie Builders, and he does a good job. He builds houses and does siding and stuff. And me and him are great friends. We have been for years.
He called you Ted Bundy. He said you're a psychopath. You shit the bed when the FBI showed up. You ran the hell out of there. That's why you're in North Dakota now and not in Montana.
But one day he got in a bad situation where someone was trying to take his life too. and he tried to steal one of my pickups that I owned. It was like a 01 Ford or something. And then from there, me and him got mad, but then we kind of put it behind us and we got past it a little bit.
I wouldn't forgive somebody that tried to steal my car, but that's just me. I guess I have different standards. Brandon, you're very forgiving. Now let's get to this part. 5313. And Avee will weigh in.
And, you know, I love Stacey, I love Sarah, but I'm not proud about what they've done and what they do. And you know, if they are involved, they need to come forward. And if they're not, we need to find out who really did do this, because it's not just something little.
Because it's not just something little. Now let's get to the conversation between Adrian and who I believe is Stacey. Avee's muted. Funky with you now. You gonna have hella lawyer fees. Did you all really kill that baby boy, or did you all just like relocate him somewhere else? Y'all so fucked for harming kids. So smartass comes back. How the boy die? Answer that. I don't know why you even think I had anything to do with taking him. I don't think Stacey had anything to do with taking him. I think it was Brandon and Sarah. Then Adrian replies, let's not forget about Brandon.
Yeah, well, Brandon already admitted that Stacey, he can't do that much because he's overweight. He says it in the statement. He says it in the interview. And I don't know if this is another burn or not, Stacey, but Brandon he's not proud of y'all for what y'all have done and what y'all do. What's he referring to? What did y'all do? And what do you do? Because he's not proud of y'all. I don't know. Is that a punch in the gut or what? I mean, Brandon's not proud of them at all.
Well, and we also go from he's too overweight to do anything. Hasn't seen his own pecker in a good 5 years. But Stacey, who I believe is in this conversation, replies to Adrian, well then, I have nothing to do with taking him. Nothing to do with taking that boy. Then at the end, Adrian fires back, let's not forget about Brandon. Brandon, you are the key to this, but I know why you can't say anything. I know.
And notice no one denied anything. I mean, if somebody asked me if I did something that I didn't do, the answer would be no. There would not be any other, it would be no. No, I did not do that. It wouldn't be all this other roundabout way. No one denies anything in that statement.
So if you weren't part of abducting Michael, then what is the issue? Because the police know way more. Way more.
And he says it's not something little, because this isn't something little. And someone else put that in the comment. I have that written down in my notes. Yeah, it's not little. And a lot of the other crimes that they committed isn't little as well. And this is huge. We need to bring Michael home, Stacey, because, I mean, it doesn't look like Brandon's on your side. I mean, he's talked shit about you during this whole entire interview. I got 7.5 pages of notes of all the shit he talked about you.
Called you a pig? Said you're too fat to do anything?
He called you a liar.
Adrian said we should not forget about Brandon, I think for good cause. So, Stacey, you have been invited to come on the show. I know you're heavily following the case. follow this.
Whoa! Whoa!
Monkey.
He's fighting with his shadow. Giddy up.
What is that, monkey? Bear.
What is that?
Hi.
Hi, dear.
Hi, bear. Hi, baby.
All right, where'd he go? Oh, he went back the other way.
Hi, Dad.
Which one?
That one. That one's for Monkey and that one for me.
That's for you. We better keep him safe, okay?
Okay. I see a Wilming. That
Bloom?
Yeah. Me and that monkey car.
And what do you see if you see Monkey's car?
Yeah. And he's that way or that way. Now which way?
You like that one?
He's getting closer.
Oh, Marshmallow.
You're sad about Monkey?
I am very sad about Monkey, my love.
Yeah, me too. I miss him.
I miss him so
Hey,
much.
let's draw him a picture.
Yeah, let's draw him pictures. More pictures? Lots of them? Okay.
Yeah, let's throw a picture at him and put it on the sidewalk. He see it.
Yeah?
Uh-huh. I make a sign for him. I make a mermaid. He loves mermaids.
He loves mermaids. Okay. All right, well, let's go get the chalks. Mommy's got to go get them.
Despicable.
I said that at the beginning of the show, and I want to say it again to Stacey. You don't deserve your freedom. You don't get the right to move on. Monkey's family cannot move on until you bring Monkey home. You do not deserve your freedom, Stacey.
Here's his mama in chat who has advocated day upon day, minute upon minute, trying to hold it together. She says, I try not to let her see me cry. Lisa hashtagged, how could you? How could you? How could you? Christine said, Stacey, please tell the truth. Give Buggy back her brother. You are very well aware of the disappearance of Michael Vaughn. Abduction. You knew firsthand. August 1st, 2021, you changed your profile picture to Michael. This perverto said, is that you, Stacey? No, this is a child that went missing in our neighborhood, and you showed the flyer. Sarah knew. Again, she had a front row seat. She took a selfie of herself, and you can see where it's circled. That is the flyer of abducted Michael Vaughn. His mama left that at your door. Boy, Mom, beautiful picture, by the way. Brandy, you are the strongest person in the world. We're here for you and wish we could do more. Keep sharing his picture, gang. Keep sharing his picture. I know with the 24/7 news cycle and all the things that go on social media, our attention gets pulled in a million different directions, and that is absolutely fine. But our most precious people on this planet are the children. And we cannot turn away and not advocate, not share, keep pushing it out there when a child is missing. I want to say thank you very much to our fabulous God Squad for keeping it real, keeping it cool. Thank you to our fabulous co-host today, Avee. Let's have a standing ovation for our girl, Avee. And to the wonderful Brandy for being in chat today. Other family members were in here, but I'm not going to dox them and pull anything up and say, oh, look, there's Brandy's cousin or, great uncle. I'm not going to do that because this family wants Michael back. In closing, what do you want to say, Avee?
Stacey, I really think that it's time for you to start talking and tell Ellie what you know. Because, if Brandon will say this during an interview with JLR, what do you think he's telling Ellie about you? Just a thought. Just a thought. And I don't think that you deserve your freedom, Stacey. And you don't get that chance to move on with your life until you start talking and you bring Monkey home. Do the right thing for once in your life, Stacey. I know you can do it. I believe in you.
Slim said, what's Sarah telling her cellmates about you, Stacey? Stacey, everyone, the title of the show, they have all turned on you, Stacey. Your wife turned on you. Brandon turned on you. Her parents turned on you. Adrian, Carson. Brandon brought up the gun. Brandon called you a fat ass, a piggy, a messy piggy, a liar. He said he tried to teach you the right way to act.
He said you're overweight.
Well, no one's going to give up, Stacey, but today's a good day to call that number at the bottom of the screen. They'd love to hear from you. They would love to hear from you. They would love it. They would stop everything they have going on and they would dedicate you. Like I said to Brandon, you are that important. They would stop everything, and they're busy, busy people. They would stop everything to talk to you. That's how important you are.
We're never giving up, Stacey, and we will not stop calling you out until you come forward. So get used to this.
And you must be really, really pissed that when the police forced entry into your old home, because you had a new home at the time, you were in jail. Sarah, right off the bat, said the Most High God said, you're the one that done it. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a tremendous weekend. Watch the weather. A lot of people are getting this, they call it a clipper coming through. Looks like it's going to warm up here, so that's good. We get like a little bit of snow, a little sprinkle. The Okies go crazy. You can't get into the liquor store or the grocery store. I mean, it's I don't know what they wipe with. All they buy is a bunch of booze, bread, and milk. It's crazy. So you guys have a great weekend. Fabulous having Avee up. She's a great friend, and she's an amazing advocate for the missing.
Have a great weekend, you guys. Thanks for having me, Brooks. Love you. Love
Love
y'all.
anytime. We're out. Thank you so much for being the best chat and the best community on YouTube, and being here every day at 9 a.m. Central for all the right reasons.